Hey, so let's talk today about nutrition and changing nutritional habits. Nutrition, and our health, how our body recovers, our energy levels, it affects all of that. And when it comes to transitioning from one state of health or a physical composition to another, that is right at the top of the list. So we all know it's not easy, but there is something that I found that makes it more beneficial um, as you're initiating that change. And it has to do with assessment. Um, in order to be able to change something or to transition from one position to another, you have to be aware of where you're starting at. And assessment is so significant in that, and it could save you a ton of time. And it's great because you get a chance to actually find out about yourself. So when it comes to nutrition, I mean, there's so much connected to every action that we take. And in this society, there's so much connected to the choices that we make with our nutrition. I mean, there's cultural effects that culture has on what we eat, what we're used to having within our family, social gatherings, so on and so forth. What we drink, the types of drinks, all of that. With some cultures, it's just a given that you have certain staples. I remember one time in particular, I was working with one of my clients, and in her culture, you always have rice, and we're going through the journal and everything, and we're talking, and what I came to find out is that was left out. There was like a whole nother set of a whole nother group of nutritional components that were left out of her journal. And she kind of looked at me like, yeah, but of course I had this, that, and the other. It's a given, and so those things are important because if they're going in, then it has an effect on the outcome. So being able to assess. Now, when you think about assessing, just like a composition book, a journal, and what you want to put in there is it's not like a task of, well, let me write down what I eat and let me it's a way to be able to find out more about yourself. And when you write it down, you write down as much detail as possible. You don't make it legalistic to where I have to have this and you have to have this. No, you write down as much information as you have at that time, but not just about the nutrition, but about what was going on around there. Maybe if you were at an event or something, you'll put that in there. Or maybe even something that you were feeling at the time is really important, because your moods can affect the type of foods that you go towards. We learn certain ways of coping that are related to food. So those things are important when you're journaling. Why? Because if you're aware that, well, when I feel this way, I usually do this, then you won't sabotage yourself, or you can help yourself to not sabotage yourself by not having that thing around or by not putting yourself in that situation. There's certain times of the year or maybe month that our internal system just craves different things. So you're not going to if you know that at a certain time you say, you know what, at this certain time of year or month I always crave this particular item, well, then you're not going to go to an event to where they're specializing in that particular food at that time of year. It's sabotage, and it starts to build up new cravings and everything, and you're feeling defeated, and it's a challenge to get back up. But to write those things down so that you can start to learn about your body and understand that any habit that you do have, that it can change. But if there's certain ways that you can help yourself out just to get to the next week or the next step, then guess what? That's helpful, because every time your body does something, it wants to do it even more. So anytime that you can help yourself to get that extra hour or that extra day or get to that next month, then guess what? Your body's going to crave it. But it's important to see the motivators, because you might be able to hold out from having a particular thing or doing a particular thing for a while, but of course we all know that there's many times where we just go right back. And when we go back, it's more difficult than it might have been in the beginning. So the point is this: if you're going to start to change your nutritional habits, or anything for that matter, you need to know where you're starting at, and you want to be able to understand yourself, and why you're doing what you're doing. And there's always a way to be able to transition from where you're at to a healthier position, and that's in all aspects of life. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to coming back with some more fit tips for you.